What's going on, YouTube? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update today of Ethereum, and we're also going to get in some altcoins. Right now, we're sitting at $1,245. We're up about 3%. What I want to do is go over some of the targets here for Ethereum. So we have broken through the $1,117. We had a daily candle close up above that. That was the area that we were looking at to the upside. The next area to the upside we're going to be looking at is $1,376. Now, if we zoom out, what I want to point out here, that 1376, that is our previous all-time high. So as we're going straight up right now into that $1,300, what I would do, I would be cautious at that range because there may be some profit taking up around that all-time high. And what that potentially could do could have us come back, set a nice higher low, and then break out through that $1,376. And the reason why I'm talking about that right now, guys, the RSI is up around 90 on the one-day time frame, and you can see this straight line that we've basically went up through, right? You can see this really straight line in terms of the price action. And typically whenever we get those straight lines, we are at least going to consolidate or we're going to correct a little bit before we get moving again. Now, I'm not saying we couldn't go up and test that $1,376 right now, but overall, for us to continue to keep this as a nice, healthy trend for Ethereum, it would be nice to cool everything down before we break through those all-time highs. Because if you break through these all-time highs and the RSI is up around 96 on the one-day time frame, I promise you short-term traders are going to be taking their profits. And what we want to see here is support on top of that all-time high that we've broken out through. Once we get up above it, we want to continue to find support up above it. We don't want it to just be one of these things where we break right through and then it's a massive dump down below, because typically when you break through all-time highs, it's price discovery, and that's when things can really get crazy, and we want a little bit of room for that price discovery so that price can really run once we do break out through the upside, if that makes sense. Now, this is the cryptocurrency space. Anything can happen. You know, a whale could jump in right now and we break up through, and, you know, technical analysis doesn't even matter, okay? I'm going to put that out there. Things like that can happen where it can just get so overextended. But I want you to be cautious in this range. And I think one of the healthiest things to do if you're a swing trader is to use those trailing stop losses, because even right now, you still wouldn't have got stopped out if you're just using those nice trailing stop losses. Now, if you're a longer term investor, not financial advice, of course, this is when you want to continue to just let those positions ride. You know, could we correct all the way back to $1,000, $840, even back to the top right here of this trend channel that we broke out through? Absolutely. You know, every time Ethereum gets a really huge move and you have day after day after day of green candles, a lot of times you're going to get that selling off process, and it'll probably be pretty fast, quick, and aggressively. Like over here, we ended up losing roughly about, let's take a look at this. We lost about 40%, and it only took about four to 5 days to do that. So that's what I would be anticipating. It would be one of those really fast, quick drops, and then we would get moving again. That's just kind of what I'm thinking up in this area right now. And what you can see here is it roughly been, guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had 2 days where we just moved sideways, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, almost 13, 14 days right in that range where we really haven't cooled off at all for Ethereum. And I know a lot of institutional money's coming into it, but it's just something that you want to pay attention to these areas. I still have an alert right here at about $852, and I believe that would present, a nice buying opportunity. So that's what you always look for when you're trading this as well. You know, when you get those deep retracements, you can always add to positions and then continue to ride it back to the upside, right? After all these big moves, guys, you can see here, after big moves, you always have that retracement. So it will be coming at some point, and you want to be ready, and you want to have your plan. Say, okay, these are where my buy orders are at if I want Ethereum. This is what I'm going to do. Or if I'm, you know, been in it since $300 and I want to protect my profit as we're going up to these all-time highs while the RSI is at 90 on some climax volume right here. You know, these are the things that you want to pay attention to. So I'm just putting them out there for you. So in terms of support, we look at roughly about $1,124, and it'd be down for me about $840 is going to be the area that I'd look at if we move to the downside. To the upside, we're going to look to see if we can get over top, have a daily candle close of 1,376. If we do, then anything can happen, guys. Just be prepared. But I think it's a smart thing to have a small trading account than also just that longer term investing, so you can just let these moves ride. Because sometimes, you know, you can get these massive blow off tops that will almost double in price in the matter of a week or two. So we just got to see how things go here, guys, and we'll move on to the next one. So that's Ethereum. If you get something from that, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're going to move next into, let's check out Litecoin at $170. Litecoin right now, we have broken up through 135. We got through 142 were our targets. Then we had 170 right here. And that right now is where we're fighting up in that area, right around that 170. Now, if we can get up above that, we're going to look to 182 is going to be the next overhead target. In terms of support, we're going to try to hold that 170. Then it'd be down to around that 143. Right now, on the one-day time frame, you're looking at a volatility stop of around 143. MACD still in bullish territory. RSI is at about 76 right now. So if Litecoin wants a little bit more, it still has some room. It's not up in the 90s, 95 on that RSI in the one day. So it still could have a little bit more room to keep this pump moving. And traditionally, when we do get these corrections or we move sideways, it's anywhere from about 4 to 10 days is what you're looking at. But we're still up above the 20, 50, 100, and 200 moving average right now. And I also want you to be aware of, in this space, guys, news can break at any moment and anything can happen to any coin. I mean, that's just the name of the game. Okay? Delistings, all that type of stuff, anything can happen. So I always think it's a wise thing to be well diversified. So always keep an eye on that, okay? So that's going to be Litecoin. The next one we're going to get into is XRP. It's up about 35% right now. We had some nice buying pressure that came in. We ended up breaking up through about 22 cents was an area that we were looking at, trying to hold some support there. We have held that as support. Main thing for XRP now is to have a daily candle close up above about 31 and then be down to about that 28 as well. So those are going to be the daily candle closes. We're fighting with the 50 and the 100 moving average right now. We're just going to have to see if this is just one of those quick relief bounces or if this is where we're actually going to start moving again for XRP. It's one you just got to be a little bit more cautious with, due to the fact any news could break at any moment and things can get crazy, as we know. We were previously up at around 80 cents, and that was on November 24th. And then we went as low as 17 cents here, and that was December 29th. So like we talked about, anything can happen in this space. Now, the nice thing on the one-day time frame, you can see we're getting a MACD cross to the upside. So that's nice there, and the RSI starting to move to the upside. So we're just going to have to see if this is just a relief or if this is actually going to start, and we're going to start that new trend back to the upside after we've had these big sell-offs. Okay, so that's going to be XRP. Watch those areas as well. Next one we want to get into, so Zcash right now is about 71. We'll take a look at Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash has been making some really strong moves as well. We've broken up through about $375, 402, 422. And now we are potentially heading up to around that 497 would be the next overhead resistance area. You can see we had a lot of selling pressure come in, and that came in roughly around that $450. So we do need to keep an eye on that. We're up above our 20, 50, 100, and 200 moving averages. The RSI at 72 right now. MACD still in positive territory as we're looking at that. So in terms of support, we look to hold right now about $422. Going to be the main area, then around that 402 psychologically. That big round 400 number is what I'd look at for Bitcoin Cash. But Bitcoin Cash has been so far behind Bitcoin and some of these other coins for quite a while now. If we really zoom out and take a look at this, this is a coin that's been up to $4,000 before. So you can see where we're at compared to some other coins like Ethereum that's all the way up in here now. It'd be like Bitcoin Cash being, $2,000, right in that range. So if Bitcoin Cash, wants to get moving and we can break up through some of these higher levels, that $500, it could open things up to around 600. If we get over 600, it could open it up to around that 846. So we're just going to have to wait, be patient, and see if we can continue to hold these support areas and just keep climbing. But heavy institutional volume has been moving in to Bitcoin Cash. Whether you like it or not, it's one that a lot of big players are putting money into. So let's keep an eye on Bitcoin Cash. Next one I wanted to get to, let's take a look at Link. Link's at right around $17 right now. So if we take a look at Link, we're running into overhead resistance. That's going to be at $17. The next area would be at $19.45. Now, the nice thing here, if we do get over top of that $19.45, it would be blue sky breakouts, and you don't have all those bag holders and everybody ready to sell. Things could get pretty crazy and aggressive for Link if we are able to get up over top of that previous all-time high. And you can see we're kind of building a little bit of strength here as we're moving up. And what I always like to do is kind of count the wave cycle. So after this big massive dump here, you can see we went up for an impulse wave. We came down, higher low, we went up again. So most likely we'll get another little retracement, and then we're going to go back up and see if we can get over top of that all-time high at 1945. It's going to take a lot of buying pressure and some volume. Right now we're at 70 on the RSI. MACD still in positive territory right here. So this is one I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on, because if we get over top of that 20, things could run pretty hard, fast, and aggressively like what happened with Bitcoin. That's why you love those blue sky breakouts. In terms of support, let's see if we can hold about $14.23 right now. Not financial advice. You're a long-term investor. This is where I just let it keep rolling. Just let it keep going. So that's going to be Link. If you're here for Link, let me know down low. Also, I love to hear what you guys are in, what you like playing, what you like trading, investing in. Always love to hear that down low. Next, what we're going to get into is XTZ. A little bit of Tezos here. We're having tweezer tops again, so we want to be cautious in that area. We're going to have to wait and see where the candle closes for today, but it's nice to see that we're trading back up above that 200 moving average, up above the 100, the 50, and the 20. We've just put in this really long base here. There's been a lot of support around that $1.88, a lot of wicks down in that area, and you can see the heavy volume starting to come back in to Tezos. And kind of the same deal here. If we can start breaking through some of these higher levels, if we get back up at some point to that 450, once we get out through that, that's when we can really run hard as well. Kind of similar to that blue sky breakout deal. I know, like for the, I believe it was like, what was it, guys? I was looking at a chart, and Tezos at one point was like $12. I think it was only for like a day or two, and then it crashed down. I don't know if that's when it first got introduced or whatnot, but for the most part, if we can get over top of that 450, I believe it'll be basically like those blue sky breakouts, and things could get really exciting for Tezos, because Tezos has been pretty suppressed as well. You can see we're just barely now breaking up above that 200 moving average, when many of these coins are well up above it now. So this is one you definitely want to keep your eye on. Right now we're sitting at $2.66. We're up about 0.6%. So overhead resistance, we're looking at 276, and then be up to around $3 in terms of support. We want to continue to hold roughly that $2.50, then be down around that 227 cents is what we'd be dealing with there for Tezos. Next one I wanted to get into, Civic. This one I always love, guys. I don't cover it a lot, but it's doing really well today, up 52% right now. And then I wanted to take a look at DigiByte. So DigiByte's at 3 cents, right at overhead resistance right now. If we're able to get up through that and have a daily candle close up above that, we're going to be looking up to roughly about 0.03798. So that would be the next target that we're going to have to get to. In terms of support, we wouldn't want to go much lower than 0.02633, but you can see some heavier volume coming back into DigiByte there. RSI gaining some strength. We're at 66, so we have plenty of room on the RSI to go up into this area if the volume continues to come in for DigiByte. MACD still in the positive territory. We've had that bullish cross. And you can tell when DigiByte, when money comes in, it really runs hard. It also drops hard and really fast when you do get that selling pressure. And another thing, guys, I want to point out, look at these wicks. We can have wicks of 50%. So this is one I think it's not financial advice, but it's better to long-term invest in than it is to trade, just due to the low amount of liquidity and all the wicks that can stop you out and get you. So I would just be careful. But as of right now, altcoins are still moving to the upside here. Just really watch those areas, guys. If you get some from this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. God bless you all. Take care.